Oh, wake up, Mitch. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. It's me, Mitch. With what voice I have left from a weekend. A weekend that, in so many respects, was just a blur. My God, I haven't had that much coming at me in such a short period of time for years. I cannot remember. It seems like a week since I've seen any of you. It's incredible. And it was just yesterday morning. Yesterday morning, I did a live stream. And I was only gone for a little over a day. It seems like a week. It was nonstop. I didn't film much of it. I did a little bit. I didn't film myself at all, other than the live stream I did yesterday out there by the pool, where I showed you the lay of the land. And I took your advice. I got the advice from a lot of you the other day that you said, take the day off. Don't work. Just, be a participant. And that's what I did. And I had a ball. I had a ball, but I came back today and I said, holy cow, I didn't chronicle much of this. But then I thought while I was there, everybody had a camera. There were people working for both Kiltz and Curry, professional photographers that chronicled the entire thing. And I'm sure that both of them on their own channels before too long will have great narratives and videos of the whole event. And you're probably going to see more of me, certainly, than I ever expected. This was an experience for me that when I got home, my first thought was, man, it's like when you get back from the best vacation in your life, you want to just tell your friends. You want to, while it's still fresh in your mind, you want to share some of what was awesome about it. And that's what I felt. And I said, I don't have any friends here. And it hit me. Let me just throw up a quick live stream and we'll see, early Saturday. It's only 2 hours later, 3 hours later than my normal Saturday stream, which of course I didn't do. I was stuck in stop and go traffic trying to get home this afternoon. And well, I just saw a disturbing entry in the chat from my buddy Drone Shots. He says Mitch, Ken Hearn got hacked good. Ken Hearn is like one of the biggest drone channels, and when it happened to Ken Berry too. When a YouTube channel gets hacked, they can destroy it because they get the rights to log in. They can delete videos. They can mimic the host, like we had that user tried to mimic Papa Carnivore and create trouble. So wow. Maybe it's time I need to. I'm very careful, but maybe I need to change my passwords. That's the last thing in the world I want to have to worry about. Anyway, if something happens someday and I disappear, or you see an AI version of me saying strange things, trust me, it's not me. It's not me. But what is the news, Mitch? Says Stacy. I've been looking at the chat. It's funny, and I'll go over that a little bit. I don't have a time limit for this thing. I was asked if we're going to do a panel, and I might. We'll see if there's a lot of people here and they hang in there and they want to learn more about it. I'll do a panel, but the panel today will probably be better limited to the subject. And ask me questions about the meetup, and that would be about it, and tell us your thoughts, but not the usual panel of smoking cigars and trying to figure out things to talk about, but something relevant to this adventure of mine. And I got to tell you, I don't even know where to begin, other than I'm still going. I mean, I'm still going strong. I should be in a coma right now. 2 nights with almost no sleep. Got up at Thursday morning earlier than I ever do, to be on Kiltz's live stream with him on Thursday morning. I did 3 live streams on Thursday and made a video, the one about the chicken thighs. Friday morning, I was up early to do my live stream. That was yesterday, which I still doesn't make sense to me that could have only been yesterday. It seems like days ago. As soon as that was over, I hit the road. Took me almost 4 hours to drive to Kiltz's house. I drove to Kiltz's house, and it's got a gorgeous place right on down there in Sarasota. I mean, other than the fact that it is so exposed to hurricanes. They got so lucky this year, but you saw me sitting out there in the live stream yesterday, but I did record a couple of little videos when I first got there, because I just drove 4 hours. And the traffic was awful. Anytime you try to cross Florida from one side to the other during the middle of the day, it is awful. You got to go by Disney. You got to go through Lakeland, and you got to try to get in and go skirt Tampa, and then you get into Sarasota, and Sarasota's got, God, I love them, and I hate to say this, but their percentage of retired old people is enormous, and those, I know I'm one of them, those old farts can't drive. Most of them can't even see. It is dangerous. Well, I managed, and Google routed me right through downtown Sarasota. And they don't just have traffic lights. They got traffic circles at every major intersection, and the confusion and the near collisions every time you got to go around one of these circles is horrendous. But I survived. I found his house. He has a huge circular driveway. There was plenty of parking, something I worried about. Would I be able to actually park my car anywhere I went in this trip? But I never had a parking problem. That was a surprise to me. And I got to Kiltz's house. And when I first walked in, there were people standing inside the house. They looked up, and in unison, they all went, "Mitch!" It shocked the hell out of me. I said, "Wait a minute, guys, wait a minute." And I got out my cell phone, and I recorded it. I want to play it for you right now. I want to just give you a little shot of my welcome. These are unedited. This is just raw footage right out of my cell phone. I'm not proud of some of the camera angles. It's not very cinematic, but it is what happened when I arrived. So let me see if I can actually get this up here and do it justice. Hang on a second, because I need to make sure the sound is on. Let's see what level I got here. Okay, I may have to adjust it after it starts, but let's see. Here we go. And this one is not very long, couple minutes. Hey, holy cow. I thought they wouldn't know who I was when I arrived here. But look at this. So this is how the other half lives. Holy mackerel, look at all these people. It's the
old guy, not the old man.
It's the old guy. Yeah, is it Aaliyah or
Alia?
Alia? I knew I'd get it wrong the
It's
first
okay,
time.
everybody does.
Hi, this is
Hi.
Alia. She's Kiltz's people.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, and
Ashley Rogers,
Carnivore Brothers.
Adam Lacey, Carnivore
Healing
Today,
Humanity.
Healing Humanity.
Okay,
Yep,
cool. Carnivore Today. All right.
And I'm Brett, the Who's Your Carnivore.
Who's your carnivore?
He's your carnivore.
I'm cook.
Every-
Hey.
Hey.
I'm going this way.
I'm kidding. You're supposed to say old guy carnivore.
You're,
you
I'm
doing?
so
Are we live right
tired.
now?
Yeah, no, hold
No,
on
I'm
a
just filming
second.
it.
I'm so tired. I forgot to change the scene. I'm going to start this over. Sorry. There it is. Okay, now. But look at this. So this is how the other half lives. Holy mackerel, look at all these
It's
people.
the old guy, not the old man.
It's the old guy. Yeah, is it Aaliyah or
Alia.
Alia? I knew I'd get it wrong the
It's
first
okay,
time.
everybody does.
Hi, this is
Hi.
Alia. She's Kiltz's people.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, and
Ashley Rogers,
Ashley Rogers, Carnivore Brothers.
Adam Lacey, Carnivore
Healing
Today,
Humanity
Healing
people.
Humanity.
Okay, cool. That's
Carnivore
Curry's
Today, all right.
sidekick in making the movie.
And I'm Brett,
Adam.
the Who's Your Carnivore.
And he did all the
He's
cooking.
your carnivore.
I'm cook.
Everything. Hey.
I'm going this way.
I'm kidding. You're supposed to say old guy carnivore.
Old guy. How you doing?
Are we live right now?
Yeah, no, I'm just
okay.
filming it. Yeah, I'm just filming it. I didn't want to embarrass anybody.
I
can
in
edit it
Orlando, I
together.
kept calling him old man carnivore.
Old man,
He got
yeah,
very angry
old
at
guy.
me.
Anyway, here we are. Look at this. Holy cow.
You go inside.
The arrival. I will. Okay, let's go outside. Holy mackerel. Listen, you got a room? Does he rent rooms by the month here?
Yes.
Yes. No.
Oh, this is great. Look at this. Holy cow. God, I'd pay $5 to come to a barbecue.
Check out the cutting boards.
Oh, look at
Custom branded for today.
Oh, look look at that.
Branded fresh this
Look
afternoon.
at that. Wow, they got custom cutting boards. Look at this. Man, this guy knows how to throw a party. Look at this. Holy mackerel. Where's the cigar smoking section? Do we have one here?
Way less.
Look.
Pick up some aluminum foil so you can throw those bones in his
Look
freezer.
at this. Wow, wow, wow.
I'll take a look at the grill.
Yeah, man, look at this. This is great. Holy mackerel.
Yep. Gonna have
Look at
steaks
that.
on there
Ready
pretty
to go.
soon.
You should see these steaks that we're gonna be putting on
Oh,
overnight.
man,
Oh,
I
my
haven't
word.
eaten since 2 o'clock yesterday.
There you go. You'll be ready
Yep.
for it.
I got a little fast going on too.
I'm ready. Yeah, well, it wasn't intentional. It was I did 3 live streams and a video yesterday.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know, it's
Wow.
crazy.
Busy day.
It's nuts. I already did one this morning before I came over here.
So did Kiltz at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I know. Well, he's really crazy. Me, I'm. Where is he?
He's back in the room right here. I think Taco fell on that.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're here. We made it. We survived the roads and the driving, the crazy drivers. Oh, God. More later. And that was it. I have more. I'm going to save some of it for tomorrow morning. And yes, I'll be here 9:30 tomorrow morning to do the morning coffee live stream. Today was the first day that I missed since I started those things. But this was, believe me, it was worth it. It was, what a trip. And I got to tell you, it's very rare at my age that you have experiences that are so new and unique that they shock you. And this, I call it a weekend, but it was basically an evening and half of the next day. It was the whole event was less than 24 hours. The barbecue started at 4 yesterday afternoon. I got here a couple hours early, and I got a chance to really visit with the other people that were here, and it was great. It was just great. And Peter hadn't gotten here yet. Peter, I don't know if you're in the chat right now, but probably not, because I left Peter. I bugged out of the lunch at the Brazilian Steakhouse. I was there for about an hour, and the thumbnail of this video is a photograph of the room. And this is the crowd of people. Not all of them were at the barbecue, but this was the attendance at the Q&A section, and this was the group of people that went en masse, 100, maybe 200, to the Brazilian Steakhouse. And that's a huge, much bigger restaurant there in Tampa, major size restaurant, and we took it over. It was crazy in both inside and outside. And what I really didn't realize about this whole event, and let me call your attention to this front row right across here. If you see the front row here, and I stood up to take the picture, and that was my seat right there on the end of the front row. And I found out yesterday from Kiltz. I said, I'm not on this Q&A panel, am I? I'm not an expert. And he looked at me and he says, hell yes, you are. And part of that is you needed to get up and make a speech of about 5 minutes, introducing yourself and talking. And to tell you the truth, it's one thing. I'm talking to 156 of you right now, and it doesn't bother me at all. But when you stand up in front of a crowd like this, and it's just something I'm not used to. I'm very used to talking on a live stream. I don't ever get nervous. I don't ever feel self-conscious. And I thought, well, it's just no different. Just a couple hundred people. I do that all the time. I'm pro. I'm professional. No. And before we started, this was when Kiltz was giving his little introduction and talking about it. And Boy, I'll tell you, did he come through for Curry and the crew? And I think that what he did this weekend in raising money and donating a large amount of money himself, he's a very generous man. I can't say enough nice things about him. That movie is going to get done. It is going to take another year because it's going to take at least 9 months just to edit professionally. They played a bunch of clips from it at this meeting, and I'm sure you'll see some of those on probably Curry's video that'll come out later, but it's beautifully, beautifully done. I was very, very impressed, and you know how I feel. I feel that these things are long shots to really make any major changes, but I think this is probably going to be as good as any of the other documentaries that are out there that have been done. And maybe with the tide is changing a little bit. We all came away from this day with some renewed optimism, and I tried to put the cynic in me away. But let's look at who we've got here. We've got this. I was sitting next to. That's Dr. Philip Ovadia. His channel is I Fix Hearts. Next to him, right here, is Dr. Lisa Wiedemann. We all know, most of us know who she is. Next to her, we have Annette Bosworth, Dr. Boz. Next to her, we have Bella, Steak and Butter Girl. This is, I'm sorry, he didn't speak. So I met him, and I'm just overloaded. I met so many people, so many names, so many faces. I met a lot of Mitch Fitz there. Yes, I did. I met Mitch Fitz. They came up, people that we know from the chat. And I know they're not here right now, most of them. If I see one of them, I'll call them out. But I'm hoping they'll be here in the morning. And we'll talk about it, and I'll call them out. So tomorrow morning's breakfast live stream is going to be kind of fun. And not boilerplate in any way. But when it comes to community, that's what this is going to be about. This is Coach Lisa. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of her. I met her and for the first time. Very interesting. And then this is her husband. And then over here in the front row, we had Curry. You know Curry. Curry Man, Homestead How. His daughter, who had what an amazing story. What an amazing story. She was a vegan, I think almost at death's door. And she became a carnivore, and she had a slide presentation about that. And you'll get to see that, I'm sure, on Curry's channel too. And it was heartwarming. I mean, it was tear-jerking. It was incredible. She even got choked up telling the story. Next to her is Dante Ferrigno. Ferrigno Freedom. You all know him. And Curry had him up there with him as to highlight the significance of what Dante did when he first went on YouTube with the lion diet that none of us have heard. And that's the reason Curry started carnivore. And he credits Dante with being an inspiration. And if not for Dante, he says he never would have been carnivore. None of this would have ever happened. They talked about Bill Knott, who's lost 300 pounds up in Alaska so far. And you go back to the ripple effect, the root cause, the butterfly effect. And Dante, without realizing it, and he's a big guy. He's a big guy and just humble as hell. Nice guy. We talked for a while. I had never met him. He knew who I was. And what really warmed my heart, I couldn't believe it, because I just consider myself like a pissant YouTuber. I say that all the time. everybody, except for Ovadia. He wasn't really familiar with me, and I didn't expect, but everybody else. And the one that really floored me was Bella. And she says, I watch your stuff all the time, and I've never seen a comment or heard from, but it floored me and flattered me. And I've never felt so flattered in my life this weekend. It was crazy because I was up there with all the doctors. I was up there with the expert. They called it the expert panel. And there's Mitch sitting on the end next to Ovadia, looking out at this. And what we did was the whole front row, we took our chairs, we pulled them forward about 10 feet and turned them around. And you've seen these panel discussions at these events. Everybody's sitting, facing the audience in the chair. And there I am, the old guy sitting on the corner. I mean, I'm saying to myself, how did this happen? How did this happen? And it was overwhelming to me. It was humbling. It was, and it wasn't scary at all. That was crazy. But I actually fielded 3 of the questions from the audience, and I'm sure that'll show up. And I gave my little opening speech and got a huge round of applause. And wow, I was rolling at it. And Kiltz was standing right next to me the whole time, and we kept kind of bouncing looks off each other when we heard certain things, but it was a tremendous event. The Q&A went on for over 2 hours, just Q&A for 2 hours, and then we all adjourned. Everybody got in their cars and drove over to the Brazilian steakhouse, and we had lunch. And I said, if I don't get out of here, it was about 12:30, I said to the guys, because there was a Corona cigar shop right across the road in the same shopping center from the Brazilian steakhouse, and we were thinking, why don't we all adjourn over there? But if I had waited another hour before I left, I'd still be trying to get home. The traffic would have been just a dead stop on I-4. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But that's what it looked like. I got one more little video I'll show you here. And hang on a second. Let me cue it up here and not forget to. Okay, hang on. This is a quick one. This is a quick one. Hang on. And I get the sound going and cue it up here and show you the professional camera action here. I'm not proud of this, but you guys, it's not live. I'm just making a video about my arrival here. Thank you. Look at this. Look at all the stars that are here. I'm humbled. But and then we have a professional photographer.
Malcolm is the man. We love that man.
Chronicling this whole thing.
Yes. Yeah. So where are you?
So that was it. That was my little. I barged into their little private meeting, but and that's when Bella says, and we talked more. She is tall. She's 6 feet tall. I swear. Kiltz and I look like midgets standing next to her, and she's a sweet, sweet, sweet girl. Really, I had never met her, never had any correspondence, nothing. But I was surprised to see how many people, and so many of those people may not have heard of me, but these are people that watch Kiltz every morning. And there I was the morning before this event started, and everybody got to see me. So everybody knew who I was. I felt like a movie star. And I kept saying to myself, this is great, but do I deserve this? Have I really contributed that much? And as the weekend went on, I gained more confidence by the stories people were telling me, by some of our regular viewers that I actually met there that came running up to me with huge hugs. I mean, it was like meeting old, long-lost friends. It was one of those, and I don't want to make it sound any more important than it was, but it was probably one of the single most validating things that happened to me since I started doing this. And the irony is, less than a week ago, I was ready to throw in the towel. You know that. You know that I was just threw it out there with that video that I made and basically said, I can't, if this doesn't change, I can't keep doing this. And whammo, the whole thing just did a 180. And I hope that that momentum, I got a new life got breathed into this little crusade of ours and this little community of ours. Look at this. I have 180 people on an unplanned Saturday live stream. That's unheard of. That's unheard of. And we all spent so much time talking about how important the support in the community is. And my little community here was generally used by a lot of people as an example of something that really has gelled and helps people. And to show you how strong this community is, it was reinforced to me when I was reading the comments that you guys were putting when you first came in. First comment when I started the stream today was Tanya. Tanya, Kitchen Witch. Yay, she says, I thought you forgot about us. It's been one day. I was here yesterday. That's on Friday. That is the scary thing. Now, I've gone, honest to God, I've gone almost, well, I know I've gone 2 nights without sleep. I don't know what the hell I'm running on. I must be running on meat. And man, did we have some meat yesterday. Wow. I've got photographs and things, and we'll do some of that in the live stream tomorrow. I'll show you some of that stuff. But Kiltz bought he bought a whole cow from this really well-known rancher out west that does what a lot of people say is the best American Wagyu beef that you can get in this country. Grass-fed, grass-finished ribeye steaks, 2 inches thick. They had filet mignon, New York strip, and ribeyes at the barbecue. And they just sliced them all up and put them out on a big tray. So you didn't really grab a whole steak. I had never had a steak like that in my life. That stuff, God knows what it cost. It's probably absurd. Kiltz foot the bill for this whole party. We got to take home the cutting boards and some Damascus steak knives that they got for everybody that attended. And they put the brand in there. They had signs made up. I mean, this thing cost a fortune. And he donated money, too, because he believes in this. And he's just that kind of a guy. Never met anybody like him. And any good that comes his way, he's not doing it for the money. He's very lucky to be not maybe lucky, he's talented to be as successful as he has in his medical practice, because he started out trying to be as cheap as he could for everybody. We talked quite a bit, and he's got a fascinating story. He started out as a child in California in a gang. His father was in jail. I mean, he was a rotten kid. And most of those kids that started life doing what he was doing are all dead by now. They became drug dealers, or they're either dead or in jail. And Kiltz went on. My God, to become a doctor and have the success he's had and do these things, it just bowls me over to see what he did and what he did for this party. And the epitome of the Energizer bunny. He just goes. You'll see a lot of videos from this event. So I didn't film them. I want to let those guys, I don't want to undercut them and show you things that, would be before they show you a finished product. So over the next week or two, I would say, So a lot of stuff's going to come out about this particular meetup. It was a first of its kind event ever. I had so much fun. We all suggested to Kiltz that we should just do this every week because it was great. It was unbelievable, as you can see from the setup. And after dinner, Peter and I and a new friend I met from Boca Raton went out to the same Adirondack chairs by the waterfront. It was starting to get chilly, so they had a big fire going in the fire pit. I went and got a jacket out of my car because I just had shorts and a T-shirt. I had the official old guy uniform on. And we went out there and we sat, and of course Peter didn't have a cigar. I gave him a cigar. Jerry didn't smoke cigars. And Kiltz came over and sat down with us, and he was so busy. He wanted to actually join us for a cigar, and he smokes an occasional cigar too, but not very often, I don't think. But he was called in 20 different directions. And we sat there and we just talked and talked and talked. And I was talking to this new friend of mine, and he seems to be very brilliant. Turns out all three of us were Jewish. Who knew? So we had three Jews sitting around that sounds like a joke, doesn't it? Well, three Jews were sitting around a fire pit. I'll have to come up with some kind of a punchline for a joke like that. That's pretty neat. Something you just don't hear every day. And we had an absolute ball. Nick Sheeson says, I'm guessing Peter is still traveling. Peter had to go back to Boca Raton, which is a nice little drive from there, too. It's, again, across the state. And he probably hung around. I imagine Peter likes to be in the action. He likes to be right immersed in everything. So I pretty well know that if the guys went to the cigar bar, that Peter was in the middle of that. So he might not get home till late tonight. I'll find out. We'll find out from him tomorrow morning. The whole experience, the lack of sleep. We closed the place down, the three of us. The cleaning, Kiltz had a crew of cleaning people come in to clean the place up. And we were still sitting out there at 10 o'clock at night. And we said, maybe we better get out of their way and get out of here. So I had he had arranged a Airbnb for a bunch of guests that he had there. And I was one of his special guests, it turns out. And the B&B was halfway between his home in Sarasota and the hotel where they had the Q&A today in Tampa. It was in Bradenton. And I had the address, and I have Google navigation. So at 10 o'clock, I got in my car. Everybody else had left, so I was blocked into the driveway, but everybody was gone. I pulled out and followed those directions all over. I'd never been that way, but finally, I get to, and I don't know how many of you have stayed in Airbnbs. This is my first experience. It's nuts. I mean, it's nuts what they've put together. I had to, get the app for my phone. I had to create an account for myself so I could get the itineraries, the door lock codes, the house rules. There were supposedly 5 people staying in that house. I was one of them. And I must have gotten 10, 15 emails, God knows how many texts, God knows how many notifications from that app. Like crazy. Just kept all for 2 days. Ding, ding, ding. Surveys. How's your stay going? All I was going to do was get there late after dark, crash in bed, spend hopefully 5 or 6 hours getting some sleep, and be out of there at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the whenever, because I didn't want to drive in traffic. I had had enough driving in traffic, and I didn't want to drive. I did for the first time. I used to live in St. Petersburg, but I actually got a chance to drive across that Sunshine Skyway Bridge that's got to be 30 years old now or more, because when I lived in St. Pete, that's when the old Sunshine Skyway Bridge got hit by a tanker, collapsed, and killed God knows how many people, went off it into the water. And that was historic. But they built this new bridge, and it's fabulous. I've seen pictures of it, but I actually got to ride over it this morning with no traffic too, and went right up through St. Petersburg and across another big bridge, the Howard Franklin Bridge, into Tampa, right to the hotel. It was a very easy drive and relaxing. But last night I get to this house, and the address was, I forget the street name, but the address number of the house was 311. And it's in a residential neighborhood, and it's not anything like an upscale residential. It's an old Florida town with a bunch of tiny little houses, and they're not rentals. Most of them are probably just people that live there, and just average working people. And houses all had pickup trucks and work trucks and, normal old cars and stuff. And it was dark street. There wasn't any street lights. There was nothing. And my navigation system says, "You have arrived." I said, "Arrived at what? How am I supposed to find this house? It's late at night. It's 10:45 now. It's dark outside." I parked there was nothing there. I pulled over. I put the flashes on in my car. I got out of my car. I saw one house that looked like it was deserted. Totally dark, completely dark. Tiny, looked tiny from the street. And I said, "Well, that can't be it. There's 5 people staying there." I figured that the problem I would have would be finding a place to park my car. I figured they only had parking for 3 cars, 2 in the driveway and 1 on a mulch area out in front of the house. I didn't see any cars. I said, "Well, that can't be it. I'm looking for 311. There wasn't a street number sign visible on any of the houses anywhere. And I'm standing out there in the middle of the street. I'm tired. And I got my cell phone. I have a little flashlight in my cell phone. We all got those. I have it fixed, so if I hit the button twice, it comes on. See, it's pretty cool. You always got it in your pocket. And I'm walking up to this what looks like a deserted house, and I'm looking for the house numbers. And there, I finally see a placard, and it says 311. I said, "This is it." You'd think they would have some kind of a license plate light or some illuminated address sign on a house that strangers who have never been there before, who may be coming in the middle of the night, are just not going to be able to find it. That's crazy. But I found the house, and I went over to the front door, and I saw they have one of those push-button type locks. But it wasn't lit. It was just a black square, and the instructions were you hit the home button, you enter the code, and the door will unlock, and you go. So, again, took out my cell phone, and I saw, I see numbers, but I could hardly make them out. They were really faded numbers. And I saw 2 buttons at the bottom, a home button and a lock button. I've never used one of these kind of locks. I can't remember the last time I didn't sleep in my own bed, to be honest with you. And I managed to open the door, and I open the door, and I walk in. There's no cars out front. There's nobody inside. It's already 10:30 at night. There's supposed to be 5 people there. I'm going, what the hell? Where is everybody? What's going on here? I turn on, I hit a light switch on the wall, nothing happens. Still dark inside. Hit another light switch, nothing happens. I take my little cell phone and you go through the front room and you go to the kitchen. And I went into the kitchen and I turned the switch and the whole kitchen lit up bright. So that kind of lit up everything. There was a ceiling fan in the living room that was gone. There was a couch, 2 easy chairs in the living room. Looked like a house. It was a house. And there was like an 80-inch brand new flat screen TV on the wall in the living room. Huge. I mean, it was a monster TV. Still, nobody was around. So I said, well, I brought in stuff from the car. I didn't want to leave my cameras and all that computer and stuff, my notebooks. I brought enough technology. I didn't use any of it, really. I did that live stream yesterday with my tablet. That was about it, and filmed with my cell phone. Didn't even pull a camera out. And I managed to find a bedroom that, evidently there was somebody in there. Maybe. I don't know. Because the camera guy, the guy that you saw in that video that was shooting the camera stuff for Kiltz, he was staying there. But he evidently went there earlier and then went back out because today I asked him, what the hell happened to everybody last night? He said, well, I didn't get back till about 12:30. And I did hear a little noise in the middle of the night. So I had that whole place to myself. I went out in the living room. I turned on the TV, watched a little TV, and I went to bed. And it wasn't my bed. My little white noise machine wasn't there. I tried to do the white noise thing with my cell phone because you could do that, but it wasn't my white noise. It was much tinnier, and it didn't sound. I haven't slept without white noise God knows how long. A lot of us do that. The bed wasn't really comfortable. It was one of these memory foam mattresses. Long story short, if it isn't too late for that, I managed to get what I think is about 1 hour of sleep, maybe 1 hour of sleep. It was a miserable night. I had set my alarm on my cell phone for 5. When it finally went off, I sprung out of bed. I couldn't get out of that place fast enough. I just wanted to have a cup of coffee. They had coffee makers in the kitchen. They had cups and saucers and plates. They had silverware. They had 2 coffee makers, not one. They had a Keurig one and a drip coffee maker. They had a toaster, a microwave, refrigerator that had 3 bottles of bottled water in it. They had a laundry room. They had a washer and dryer. They had everything you'd find in a house. I mean, a family of 3 could have gone there and spent a week and vacationed in the beaches because this thing is not far from the beaches in Manatee County. But it wasn't a hotel room. It had none of the conveniences of a hotel room. At least when you check into a hotel and they got a little tiny coffee maker, they give you 2 or 3 of these coffee pods so you can actually. So I got up this morning. There's no coffee. There's no nothing. I haven't had any sleep. I brought a big thing of electrolytes with me, so I sucked some of that down and went out, got in my car, programmed into the navigation the address of the hotel in Tampa, and off I went. And the first convenience store that I saw that had a gas station, I filled my car up, and I got a cup of coffee, and I drove to Tampa drinking my coffee. I arrived at the hotel, actually found a parking place very close to the main door, the front door, so that was cool. I went in, there's not a soul in sight. I sat in the lobby sipping on my coffee for about an hour, answering comments on my cell phone from all you guys who put comments in there over the past couple of days, and it was cool. And then people started coming in, and some people I knew, and then they started showing up in mass. And then from about 7:30 up until I would say 8:30, it was just like a meet and greet. Everybody was getting their name tags, and we all went back to where this big room was, where you saw the picture. And I won't go into details, but I have one viewer that wrote me an email and said, I've been trying to get a hold of Philip Ovadia, who's a cardiologist, to ask him one question. And you're going to this thing. If you happen to run into him, would you ask this question for me? And I actually remembered it. I said, yeah, okay, I'll ask him if I see him, but I doubt I will. Well, guess who I was sitting right next to in the expert panel? So I asked him the question, and he gave me the answer that I thought would be the answer. And so I'm going to, I shot off an email to my viewer friend and said, yeah, he said this, he said that. And we'll talk a little more about that again. But that was something. That was something. And I got up and gave my little speech, and I was basically just one after another. People were coming up to me throwing their arms around me. Mostly women, man. I'm telling you, a lot of my women viewers. I met a couple of the men ones, but the women ones. There's a really great guy. And he's not in the chat or anything. His name is Rex. He doesn't participate. He watches. I found out there are people that I don't even know who they are because they've never made their presence known. But they told me they would not ever miss a morning coffee with me. So I'm sure a lot of them are here now. We have 223 people watching right now. That is crazy, unlikely in YouTube to have a community like that. And I understand that I owe a thank you. I owe a thank you to Rick. So as a thank you to Rick, I will put a duck in the upper right-hand corner for a few minutes while I thank Rick, which is the StreamYard logo. Got some more nice news. I did get another email from StreamYard, and they agreed to discount it for me, so it will be about the same as it was last year. So that was unexpected. And I'm going to continue using it, so we won't have to do without all those neat features that I like to use, like the intros and outros and having up to 10 guests and multi-platform streaming, so I can continue to stream to Rumble and YouTube every morning, hoping to build a Rumble presence. So that was some good news too. So overall, it was just one of the most positive few days I've had in maybe in memory, as far back as I remember. And as far as Rick and the duck, I understand Rick had a live stream in my absence this morning, and so many of you were there, and I was reading the comments, and I'm going to start going through them. It's not really a Q&A session, but I'm going to start going through them. And thank you, Rick. If you're here, I don't know. I haven't been watching. I see Tuka's here. Yeah, Rick's here. Rick, thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you for pitching in. Thank you for providing a forum for these people that have become such great friends of mine and yours both. So that's terrific. That's terrific. I was glad to hear that. But it was a funny thought. I got home and I said, wow, I had such a great time. It was such an amazing experience. I need to tell somebody, and there's nobody to tell. I said, oh, shit. So I said, no, I know where my friends are. I need to get on there and tell them all about it. And here we are. So let me, just for fun. All right, Rick, enough duck for you. Back to the Mitch Fitz logo. Let me go back to the chat here and just maybe try to pick out some of the. One of the things I noticed in the beginning of the chat was I didn't put a time for this. I didn't put in the title, which I always do in the morning. I just put impromptu live stream, and I know that YouTube, when you click on it, tells you what time it is. But there was a lot of confusion about it. Is it in 20 minutes or is it in 5 hours and 20 minutes? Well, here it is. Here it is, right now. I ate enough food today to take me through sometime tomorrow. We ate so much food at that Brazilian steakhouse, but I never felt stuffed. That was it. That's still the amazing thing about this. The amazing thing about carnivore is I never feel uncomfortable. The satiety hits, and I just feel satisfied, and they keep parading by with skewers full of meat. And they give you a little card on the table with green on one side and red on the other. And if you want more, you flip it over so the green side shows. And the guys come walking by with all the different kinds of meat. And we all kind of reached our limit about the same time. But we did eat a lot of food. We ate a lot of food. It was great. Terry Sue was here. Hiya, Terry Sue was here early, chatting away. And Sandy Blythe. Terry Sue says, is there going to be a panel? I need to know if I need to powder my nose. I'll tell you what, guys, I don't know if anybody, and let's put it this way, if anybody wants to come in, and I basically appreciate only the people that really want to ask me questions. Not that I don't love you all and want to schmooze with you, but I'm tired and I want to make this as informative as I can about my experience today and hopefully share that with you. I'll put the link in the chat. And anybody wants to come in, Terry, if you want to come in and ask me some questions, do. If you don't come in, I won't feel slighted. I won't feel bad or like you're ignoring me. I did see that I had something made my phone go ding. Oh, the woman that booked the B&B, her name was evidently Mary Ellen. So I get yet another email today. It says, I mean, look, this is the chain. This is the, I don't know if you can't see it. It's too bright. There it is. This is the chain of the emails that they've sent me, one after another. Look at this. Good morning, Mary Ellen. Hope you're having a pleasant stay. Sorry, I'm gone. We're done. Yeah, there's the link if you want to come in. If not, and if you come in, we'll extend this a little bit. I can't believe it. It's gone on for almost an hour already. Marla Kelly's here. Anna PO107. God, everybody's here. Everybody. Steve McAvoy's here. Kathy, Florida. Good to see you. Steve says, question. I hope you're having a blast. I wish I could afford to be there. Well, it was a fundraising event, so they charged a ton of money for that. But Kiltz had so many seats booked for the question and answer, and they were charging like $50 for that yesterday on that live stream, he said basically he's got room for a ton of people, no charge if you want to come. So a lot of people came and didn't cost them anything. But you had to be in Tampa. In Tampa. That's the rub. So that's the rub. Lizzie, $5 super sticker. Way down at the bottom. Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you so much. Let me, Terry Sue says not worth the hassle. I'm tired too. Okay, all right, that's fine. It's fine with me, guys. Believe me. I've been talking nonstop for 2 days, it seems. Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And let me start down here at the bottom, and we still have over 200 people here. Let me. It's like an entertainer hates to close the show when you got an audience, a full house that's cheering. But there's an old show business adage that says, leave them wanting more. And you got to find a balance. You got to find a balance. And that's why I keep an eye on the viewer count. And people are having had enough. It is Saturday, and so we're down to 202 viewers now, and I keep an eye on that. I keep an eye. And just when I think that it's about to end, it jumps up 20. Oh, Super Bowl. Oh, is today the Super Bowl or is it tomorrow? Oh, my God, I can't compete with the Super Bowl. But everyone have a great night. Deborah Wisegal, Paul McGrogan is here. Rick, did you change your picnic shirt? I have no idea what that means. Nick Sheeson, shout out to Doctors Kiltz and Vasquez. Yeah, Nelson was there. Oh, yeah. He's a great guy. Nelson and Kiltzy, and they're all great. They're just great people. And me, one of the only ones that was there that didn't have a string of letters after his name. But I got a lot of respect, guys. It bowled me over, and admiration and credibility. I mean, people were asking me questions, and when I gave the answers, they were just like I was the final authority on the subject, and that's humbling. I got to tell you, that's humbling, and I'm proud of that. So I had a great time. Sunday Super Bowl. Go. What is a May home? Ma home. That's either Philadelphia or St. Louis, isn't it? I guess that must be a mascot's name or something. It shows you how much I know about football. I know nothing. I know nothing about football. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, Rick, isn't that why they call Target Thomas? Isn't that why they call it Super Bowl Sunday? Yeah, I guess it might be. It is probably tomorrow. I tell you, I don't care about that stuff. I don't ever watch it. The only thing I enjoy about the Super Bowl is if they make great commercials, if they make good commercials. Look, Tuca came in to say hello. I knew he couldn't resist. I knew you couldn't resist, Tuca. All right, I'll bring you in for a minute to say hello to everybody, but we're not gonna do this all that long. Here he is. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, Mitch. I know
How
you're
are-
tired, so I won't hold you too long, but I just thought that I would drop by to say hello to everyone. And now I'm not working, so it's a bit more calm in my
Good.
end.
Yeah, that was a little trippy trying to
Yeah,
live stream and be a cab driver at the same time.
yeah, and it was rather busy. So I thought that if I could drop by for a moment, so
You sure can. You're always welcome here. You know that.
thank you.
You know that. You know that. So
Thank you.
say hi to everybody.
Yeah, two people in the chat. So
Okay.
it was a great
okay.
event, I suppose.
It was fabulous. It was fabulous. And I have a few more pictures and a video that I'll play. And I'll probably do that tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning on the breakfast live stream. I know that's the middle of the night. No, that's the middle of the day for you. You're fine with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And besides, I will be working only graveyard shift, so I will be awake anyway
Oh,
during the
okay.
nights.
Okay.
So I'm just
Well-
fine with their time schedule, whatever it is. So
Good. Everybody's saying hi to you in the chat. If
Yeah,
in ca-
thanks,
yeah,
guys.
everybody's
gals.
saying hi to you, and that's great. Thanks for dropping in, says Paul McGrogan.
no worries.
And evidently Spanky's in here too. Wow, look at Golf Addict. Yeah, he says Golf Addict. Spanky says I feel pretty.
You're a pretty boy,
Oh,
Spanky.
you're pretty. Yeah, and people agreed. People agreed with him. That's the scary part right there. Tori Sue says, I got nervous watching you drive and stream. I don't know if you were talking to me. I did not stream while I was driving. I won't do that. It's too dangerous.
Probably for me, I would
Yeah.
say. But I was holding like a
Oh,
mic.
watching you drive and stream. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know who else does that? Juan Manuel down in Chile. He drives and streams. And Greg drives his truck and streams. But they do a good job of it, but it makes me a little worried too. Terry
Yeah.
Sue says
Well,
Terry Sue asks what time tomorrow. Well, we're back to 9:30 every morning again. That was an aberration yesterday because I needed to go. But 9:30 tomorrow morning, I'll be here. Hopefully, I'll be get a good night's sleep tonight and sleep in my own bed and make up for the last couple nights. But Terry Sue says, Mitch, unpack, get some rest, and join us for
Yeah,
coffee at what
I
time
agree.
tomorrow?
Get some-
9:30. 9:30.
Yeah.
Yes.
get some rest. But I just wanted to let you know that the way I try to drive and StreamYard at the same time is my car it has automatic gear, so practically I just need to watch the road naturally and just hold the wheel with the other hand, and I have the phone straight like this, so practically I'm watching almost like over the phone, and I'm trying to do it the way that there is no other traffic going on, and if there is coming traffic against me, then I'm just focusing on the traffic. So I try to make it as safe as possible for everyone.
It's fine. It's fine. Kim appreciates life. I see in the chat over here. Asks, did anyone talk about the egg short? No, not a word about eggs were mentioned in any context. It was amazing. What I found, and this is an interesting observation. So we're sitting, and we looked, and I'm sitting out around the fire pit, puffing on a cigar, with Peter and I think it's Jerry. Yeah, Jerry. And we're me and Jerry and I were having a very intellectual type conversation. The guy's a very smart guy, and we were talking about some really deep subjects and each of our observations about, life and things like that. And the universe and physics and, everything, reality. And a thought came over me and I said, I said, there probably has never been a party like we just had in the state of Florida ever, or maybe anywhere, at this magnitude, with this many people, eating only meat. Think about that. Somebody comes up to you and says, man, I just went to this fabulous party. Nothing was spared. It was the best of everything. It was in an incredibly beautiful waterfront home with big barbecues and special tables set up with. And the average person's first question would be, what was the food? What did they serve? And you would say, meat. And they would look at you like you had three eyes. What do you mean, meat? Yeah, that was it, meat. Well, didn't you have an appetizer? No. How about salad? Didn't they have salad or a salad bar or anything like that? Well, no. How about bread? Did they serve bread? This is a party. This is a big event in a fabulous place. Be like going to a wedding and they don't have all that stuff. What about bread? No. Well, what do you mean they just served meat? Well, they had 3 different kinds of steaks. They had ribeyes. They were the best steaks money could buy. They had filet mignon, and they had New York strips. And they had 3 plates up on the counter where they had sliced them up and served. You could get as much of any as you want, and you took that plate with your meat and you went back to that fancy table and you picked up your Damascus knife and you had a cutting board, but people ate off plates because the cutting boards and the knives were a gift that everybody took home with them. So not to dirty them up and get them greasy, we ate off plates on top of the cutting boards, and we sat there and ate the meat and didn't overeat, and satiety set in. They didn't serve coffee. They had Topo Chica, there's just some bottled fizzy water, and that was it. And it was one of the most fabulous parties I've ever been in my life, with no food except steak. And anybody else would have looked at that like, that's impossible. That never happened. You're lying to me. But it did happen. And the uniqueness of what happened last night, thinking that it's something probably that never happened before like that. Not a leaf of lettuce in sight. You know what I mean? It was just strange to think about things like that. And it shows you just how unique we are in what we've accepted as the way to be healthy in this world. It was something. Well, listen, I don't want to overstay my welcome here, guys. So, Tuka, thanks for coming in, my friend. And
I was just about to say that I'm going to drop out, so I won't hold you too long. So thanks for having me.
I think it's time to go out before everybody goes away and leaves me sitting here going, where'd everybody go? Okay. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Always good to see you, my friend.
Mitch.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And listen, guys, what a great surprise that you all came in today. This was very well attended. Kim Appreciates Life says, did you all binge on Kiltz ice cream? He made ice cream. He made one thing of it, one bowl of it. And he put it out. And I spent about 15, 20 minutes talking to Lisa Wiedemann. Got to know her. She got to know me. It's the first time we'd ever met. And we were standing over there by the table where he had put out this bowl of ice cream. And he put out these tiny little, almost this little square things, almost like when you go to a Chinese restaurant and they give you some spices or something. They put them on these little tiny plates and little tiny spoons. And he made this ice cream. He makes it with eggs, heavy whipping cream, and he makes a paste out of vanilla bean. And he does put a little sugar, a little cane sugar, because and I agree with him. The cane sugar is in small amounts is not going to hurt anybody. And if you're a real carb addict, you just put less sugar in it. And he put no sugar in the ice cream. And the only actual sugar that was in this ice cream was in the vanilla bean paste that he makes. And he has videos about how to make it. So Lisa grabs and takes a little, like about 1 tablespoonful, puts it on one of these little tiny plates, and she tastes it, and she said, nothing. I don't, it's just kind of blah. It's just not something that I would be tempted to binge on. Have some, Mitch. I said, I haven't had anything that even resembles ice cream for over 2.5 years. All right, I said, so I got myself a little teaspoonful, put it on the teeny little plate, and I got the teeny little spoon, and I tasted it, and damn if it didn't taste good to me. Not only it tasted good, it tasted sweet. It tasted sweet. Didn't taste sweet to her, but to me, because I have not eaten anything or drank anything sweet in 2.5 years, my sense of taste for sweet things was evidently heightened like crazy. And I stopped and I took a second to analyze any feelings I might have about, do I have an urge? Do I want more? Could I go through a gallon of this stuff like I used to whenever I ate 1 spoonful of ice cream? And the good news was, no, I didn't want any more. Perfectly fine. Didn't need it. I never had another thought about that ice cream after that. But I still recognized it as a dangerous, slippery slope kind of thing to start doing. And I won't do it. So I'm not going to. And Kiltz is backing off on that. He doesn't eat it as often as he used to now. Not because it's any conscious thing. It's because the longer you are carnivore, the less these things are important to you, and the further your addictions fade. And we talked at length, he and I, about how long it takes for a really meaningful transition like he's had and like I'm having. And he came up with a figure of about 4 years. But it's an easy 4 years. But after 4 years, you have really repaired most of your cells that were being built out of plant material. You have reversed most illnesses and conditions that you have. You have convinced your whole physiology that you don't need or want sugar anymore, and you become basically a physiological caveman. And your relationship with food is one of just a relationship of a car to a gas station. And that's where I am now. I don't even care about food. I tell you this, nobody can imagine that happening to them, and I could never have imagined it would happen to me. But I went there yesterday and probably ate steak that probably cost $5 a bite. This stuff was the most unbelievable. The fat was almost like liquid. And I mean, I've never tasted anything like that. And I'm sure that one little bit on a fork was at least $5. I'm sure each one of those steaks cost $100 or $200 each. It was crazy. I could have been just as happy eating a burger patty. Really. Could have been just as happy eating a burger patty. Yeah, it was good. I got no dopamine rush from it. No feeling of, comfort from it. It tasted good. I enjoyed it. It was fabulous. But there was no pleasure response, no hit of neurochemicals like you have when it was an addiction-driven thing. And if I never eat another steak like that in my life, it'd be okay. I won't miss it. I'll eat the hamburger. I'll be just happy eating the hamburger and the bacon and the eggs, stuff like that. So all I can do is testify, guys, and tell you what this has done to me in 2.5 years, and to tell you that it may not be, there may be challenges for you. You may want to give up. You may, the scale may not be behaving. You may still be getting some cravings. Just eat the meat. It makes it easy to stick to. And anytime you get those cravings, just go eat a meal of bacon, eggs, beef, chicken wings, whatever, or cheese if you can handle that. And this will happen to you, but it's not an instant fix. Steve McCoy says, when I get back to work, want to go halfies on a cow? No, there's no way in the world I need to buy a whole cow. I don't eat that much anymore. It would take me years to get through that. I'm very happy, Steve, honest to God. I'm so happy with the food I'm eating right now. The Wright's bacon, the eggs I get at Sam's Club, the marked down meat that I find, the cheap chicken wings, the little strange little recipes I have that are easy and quick. And I have absolutely have a great working relationship with food now, which I never had. It does not control me anymore. In no way do I have dreams of it, or do I crave it, or long for it, or envy people that I see stuff in their face with it. I see the absurdity in the way people eat in this country. I recognize it. It just screams at me when I see people doing this, and I want to go up there and grab them around the throat and say, what the hell's wrong with you? But we can't do that. This is the greatest discovery a human being can make in our time period in history, is to discover what our real food is supposed to be, and not the crap that they keep addicting us to and selling us. It really is. It really is an incredible feeling. And you guys are still chatting away. And Lizzie, yes, I think I already showed you that super chat. Thank you, Lizzie. Let me go down to the bottom of the chat here. Danny in Boston is here saying hi. Tanya's still here. Tanya says, hi, Tuka. Mitch Fitz Unite. Yes. Paul McGrogan says, $5.50 a pound for half beef. Yeah. It's going to be a ton of hamburger. I got news for you, because that when you buy a cow, you end up half of what you get is hamburger. So I'm still buying those 10-pound chubs of 80/20 for marked down. When I find a marked down one, the last one I bought was marked down. It was less than $4 a pound. So I'm fine with that, and I'm fine with the marked down ribeyes. I don't eat nearly as many ribeyes as I used to. And who knows? Mitch, the same ranchers there are ranchers in South Carolina that have grass-fed, grass-finished cow. I'm getting half a moo-moo. Yeah, okay, Steve. Far be it for me to tell you not to. I'm sure it's good meat. I'm sure it's healthy for you. My philosophy about everything in life is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sometimes you keep improving things if they're working, and you improve them right into failure. So no ice cream for me on a regular basis. I ate lunch today. I ate enough where I don't think I'll eat any more. I'm having a cup of decaf here. Psychologically, a cup of coffee, whether it's got a lot of caffeine or not, gives you a little boost. So I'm going to, right after we're done here, my friends, I'm going to create the actual stream for tomorrow morning, create the thumbnail, get it posted. If you still feel the need to chat, just go find it, and you can chat away in tomorrow's thumbnail. Tuka, a little super sticker. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that so much, man. You're a good friend. Good friend. And Aunt B is here. Hi, B. How you doing? Who else? I know I didn't say hi to most people because there were hundreds of you here tonight. Wow, wow, wow. You say bye. No, you say bye. I don't know what that meant, Terry Sue. Nick Sheeson, how you doing tonight? Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Greg Smith. Somebody said hi to Greg. I haven't seen him yet. Good evening, Greg. Oh, it's cool. You guys are great. I'm telling you, we do have the best community. Cynthia Vaughn, so great to meet you today. Cynthia, yes, there's somebody I met today. Yes, Cynthia. I remember you. It was great. I was like in a whole nother world there today. Maybe you guys noticed that. It was nuts. It was nuts. I've never had so much attention in my life, especially from so many women. I mean, it was very, very, very nice and very gratifying. And I just hope that I didn't embarrass myself when I was up there answering questions for people. Playing expert. But I think I pulled it off. I'm proud of it. It's the first time in my life I was ever an expert on stage talking to hundreds of people about anything. Don't you think that isn't a strange place to find yourself? It was just an overwhelming experience. Coco's here. Coco, how you doing, Coco? Good to see you. Kim Appreciates Life says, was it a Wagyu? They had some Wagyu tomahawks there that were the biggest things I had. They were 3 inches thick. I've never seen tomahawks that big. The food was otherworldly. Super cow. Honest to God. But yeah, I met Brooke. You all know Brooke? And I'm having a senior moment here. I'm trying to remember her channel name. What's Brooke's channel name? She's in here all the time. She's not in here tonight. She's probably traveling. But I met her. She came up. I got the nicest hug. Such a sweetheart. And I don't know. That happens sometimes. The minute I end the stream, it'll pop into my head. But I met her. I met so many people that knew me that have never come into the chat, that told me they've seen every one of my videos. They come to the coffee thing every morning. I start their day for them. They can't imagine not starting their day without me. I can't believe that, guys. I mean, for me, I can't tell you how it makes me feel, but I just feel great. I mean, I hope this doesn't do an about face. Gary, no slow. Wow. 5 months. Mitch, when is your chicken thigh barbecue, he says. I don't know, Gary. When I saw what it took to put this barbecue on, I didn't get any visions of actually putting on a barbecue myself. That's for sure. All right, guys. Before I wear out my welcome, let me give you a little happy music. I will be back tomorrow. Let me give you a little happy music. Say your goodbyes in the chat. This attendance tonight bowled me over. You can probably guess what I'm going to do. I unpacked my car already. I haven't eaten. I am going to go outside, light up a cigar, and just relax until bedtime and get a good night's sleep. Be back tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Coffee in hand. More than likely, I may end up doing it outside. Depends on if I get up early enough and it's not foggy or the weather's good. I haven't done one outside for a while. But this is working out fine in here. I love this little coffee shop I found. Find it very comfortable, and it's very quiet, too. Not a whole lot I don't know how they stay in business. Nobody even walks through the door. It's crazy. Cynthia, again, it was great to meet you, sweetie. Great to meet you today. And don't be a stranger in here, please. Anna, Good night, Nick Sheeson. Mike Seeley Sr., missed you today. I hope you're feeling better. Spanky, Kitchen Witch, Tanya, Lizzie. It's hot outside in Louisiana. It's warm out here. It's been in the 80s here. Ribeye Susie's here. Sandy Blythe. Thank you, Sandy. See you all in the morning, and we'll be here. Kim Appreciates Life says, nice to see you. Rick, keep on quacking. I need to get that quacking sound effect for you. All right, my friends. With that being said, no outro today. No nothing. Just do what I'm going to do. Take the rest of the day off and eat some meat.